Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TLT Talks. We have a very exciting show for you today. We have no pods. It's windy, there's music, none of it's perfect, and it doesn't matter because we have with us a champion. We have with us a champion. We have with us a competitor. We have with us a personality. He needs no introduction, so I'm not going to make it.
This was a really long introduction.
My man Val, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
First
Say what you want to say about yourself.
Yes. First of all, it's awesome to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Should I be speaking to them or to you?
You do you.
I just feel
you
weird
do you, my
talking
man.
to you to the side.
Let's go here. Let's be with them. Let's be with them.
My name is Valentin Chmerkovskiy. I am a competitive. I grew up competitively ballroom dancing. I am probably better known as the guy from Dancing with the Stars, your grandma's favorite. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now as far as the world knows me as. But I am a studio owner. The word entrepreneur gets thrown around a lot, but I definitely have the entrepreneurial spirit. But I'm a dancer, and I've kind of claimed that as of recent, and I'm running with it.
I love it. A champion. So today, I thought it'd be real cool to talk to Val about the mindset of a champion. From a really young age, he's in a real competitive space. There are millions, tens of thousands, whatever the number is, of people that want a competitive ballroom dance. And Val not only did it, but did it at the highest level, was a champion. So I thought we'd start there. What does it take from such a young age to become a champion?
I think it takes... I think it takes obsession. And a lot of, I'll just be clear. It takes commitment, obsession, discipline, obviously, but also it takes a village, really. It takes a team of people that put me in winning situations.
Right.
As a grown up now, I try to kind of continue that success and whatever, and I start to realize like it was easy when I was coming up because when you're young you have your parents. I was lucky enough to have a family unit that really supported me, and I think that really was the key, that I had people, friends that were also into this, because it definitely wasn't, it didn't give me any brownie points in school being a Russian immigrant. Ballroom dancer.
It's not like being the quarterback, right? Or star point guard.
Yes, but I didn't need that because I had enough of a community that supported me.
Right. And your tribe lifted you up.
Yeah, my tribe lifted me up, and then I just one thing led to another, and there's talent, there's a lot of God-given things that I was blessed with.
Amazing.
That I applied, but really it's a lot of things. This conversation, being on speaking with you, I was kind of intimidated because you're such a wise man.
No, what are you talking
and there's
about?
There's so much content out there about how to be great and how to apply this, and I can't add too much to that this audience already doesn't know. I just think I'm a product of obvious focus and dedication, but also quite a bit of luck and commitment to something that, while everybody around me was like, what do you do? Why are you doing this?
Right.
And to my parents who were broke and decided to stay broke just to support me and my career.
Right.
All of those things kind of pitched into this pot of, what ended up being, I guess considered to some degree success.
And you had to make so many choices, right? Like your friends are going to hang out. You also got to do the school thing. We're immigrants. Our parents are broke. We had to help out. And every day was a choice about pursuing this thing, which didn't really have any guarantee of any sort of real income.
Yeah.
Right? Every day there were choices to make, right?
There were choices to make, and each choice made the next one a little easier.
That's right.
And I guess that's really another key.
Momentum's crazy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Momentum's crazy.
And it's really that, because one thing probably satisfied some little ego in my little 12-year-old mind that then gave me confidence and the ability to say no to certain
Right.
you know, vices and temptations.
Right.
And I wasn't a bubble boy, you know. I indulged. I had friends that, you know, still allowed me to indulge and see. But
Right.
like I said, I got to travel because competitive ballroom dance was huge in Europe. You know, to have an American kid, even though I was a Russian kid, you know, and that's another thing, identity crisis. I was a Russian kid in America. I was an American kid in Europe. But it allowed me to, you know, to see, kind of to put myself out there amongst the top of the line,
Yeah.
even though overseas I was like the Jamaican bobsled team. It was like, you're from where and you do what?
Yeah.
You know, and so I kind of sized myself up against the best, and then when I came back to America, where it wasn't really that competitive for me, I didn't care, because I would go in the studio and I would want to beat the guy. You know, this is before social media and even YouTube. So you know, I saw those guys, came back and wanted to, you know, one example is I saw a kid do 5 turns, right? And then that was so foreign to me. I came home and I would practice those turns everywhere, in the kitchen, in the living room, in the studio, until I could do 6, you know. And then a couple months later, I would come out and compete against the same kid, and I would outspin him, you know.
There you
and
go.
so I had that competitive spirit. So it wasn't just about my passion for dance or that craft. It was also my, you know, the little competitor in me that wanted to accomplish something for my parents, for myself, and, you know, also for, again, this is a broader conversation, but for this country, because
That's right.
you know, it opened its doors. And so a lot of those challenges in the beginning of my life really set me up and gave me tools.
Amazing. It's not rocket science, guys. You gotta be, you want something, it's not easy. It requires sacrifice and or investment, depending how you choose to look at it. It's hard work, it's discipline, it's obsession, it's choices, it's a belief system. I bet Val didn't say like, oh well, I'll just try it, and if it works out, it works out, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. I bet there was an element of like, yo, this is happening, period. Leanne says, what a place, I gotta read sideways, what a place to have TLT Talks. You have no idea. We're in Tulum. It's one of the coolest places on the planet. There's a gorgeous beach behind us. It's been incredible. It's our dear friend's 35th birthday. So, okay, cool. So you did this thing, right? You accomplished something most people never accomplish in their lives. And it's not just that you won a championship and that you were the best. You could say that you were the best at something. I think that's real cool in its own, that you could say that there was something in the world where you were statistically, not because you thought so, not because someone thought so, but statistically, factually, you were the best at something in the world, man. That is so cool. And then all these skills carried you into your next phase, because you can make an argument that, okay, ballroom dance is competitive, you're young, yada, yada. But then you go into the limelight. Now it's Dancing with the Stars. Now it's cameras. In competitive ballroom, if you fall, if you miss, it's not a big deal. Now if you fall and you miss, the whole world's watching. Then it's social media, then the pressure, the lights, all that stuff. How was the experience in your younger years? Like, how did that translate over? How did that help you in the future? And then, you know, what was your mindset into your success with Hollywood and Dancing with the Stars and all that stuff?
I mean, I had to evolve. I obviously took a lot of the tools from my competitive career and how I approached that, and, you know, the discipline I had to prepare, to study, to, you know, not have an ego about it, right? It's funny because my first season, I was coming in as 2-time world champion, prime of my career. The show's been around already, so I knew the talent that was on the show, my brother included. And I was like, yo, I'm about to rip these guys up. You know, this is...
By the way, I totally forgot that whole piece. So, trying to become world champion while also competing against your older brother all the time. We're going to have to touch on that element after for a bit.
Well, my brother, we never competed in the same
not directly.
category.
Okay,
so he's older than me, and he actually coached me in a lot of ways.
Amazing.
He's another, you know, he's a big reason why I'm where I am. But
that's one thing I love about you guys. You guys are so family, so tribal, so like... Respect, man. Respect. That's a great dude too.
So anyway, but this was the first time that I would be competing against my brother. So it did become a little complex, and, you know, the new challenge was now the world didn't know anything about me. All they knew was that I was, you know, this guy's younger brother, and so it was a challenge for me to confront that not become, forget bitter. I was never bitter, but
Right.
how do I, establish myself as, I am proud to be his little,
Right.
Max's brother,
Right.
but I'm not, as far as my craft, I'm not anybody's little brother.
That's right.
I wrote a book, and there's a quote in it, I'm nobody's Robin. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
there's Batman and Superman, and we're the Avengers. I'm
That's
not
right.
nobody's sidekick, really. And I've paid my dues to
Right.
be that.
Right.
Anyway, so I joined the show, and all of a sudden it's a competition, but it's also a popularity contest. So
Right.
now I got a campaign, I gotta appeal,
Shake hands,
I gotta
kiss
this, I
babies.
gotta that, I gotta say the right thing. Now
Wow.
I'm conscious of what I sound like,
Right.
right? What I look like, the things I say, and throughout now being in the spotlight, I guess. I made a lot of mistakes, or what some would call, I made my life a little more difficult
Right.
because I didn't play necessarily by certain rules.
Right.
I grew up in an environment where there wasn't a lot of political correctness, a lot of tough love, and a lot of
Yeah.
things that were said that were probably not necessary to be said. But that's the whole point.
That's part of the journey, man.
It's part of the
It's part of
journey,
the
and I
journey.
don't regret it, because that's, the people that I lost along the way, I also gained a lot of people.
That's
and that's
right.
how you create an identity for yourself.
That's
You
right.
evolve, obviously. My thoughts, my perspective is always elastic. I'm always trying to grow and
Right.
learn from my experiences, but I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to
Right.
say the wrong thing.
Well, that's amazing. So let's say, our viewers tend to be, we have a lot of real estate professionals that watch us, but also lots of entrepreneurs. A lot of our clients watch us.
Yeah.
I find the one thing that we're known for, or at least I hope we're known for, is this constant pursuit of improvement, this constant pursuit of following your dreams, yada, yada. And so I ask you, in your career thus far, what are some of the tools that you'd say are important in order to be on this pursuit, right?
Yeah.
Anything that you went after, there was no guarantees. There was lots of fear along the way. It had to be. There were mistakes along the way. What are some of the things, gems or tools or tips that, there must have been struggle, there must have been controversy, there must have been moments you doubted yourself. In those moments, what was your tactic to push through, to keep going?
Trust, I always say trust your track record. I always look at myself, and when I'm doubting myself, and I'm like, I've never done this. Oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fail at this. And be like, trust your track record. I've done a lot of great things along the way, but I had to start somewhere.
Yeah.
I had to start with the first thing I did, and the second, third, fifth, and now 10,000, 100,000 hours later, I could look back and be like, yo, you can do this. And you'll probably do it really well. So just do it.
Yeah.
Back to that story. I joined Dancing with the Stars, and I got eliminated second. It was humiliating, and I had to really confront the fact that you could be accomplished in that, but this is a whole new world.
It's a
and
new
now,
ballgame.
and now I got to look around and see who's successful in this world, and how they move, how they navigate, what they do. I realized that I have to expand in my toolbox, right? I had to expand just from competitive ballroom dancing. I got to understand how to choreograph, tell stories, how to, understand commercial dance, hip hop, contemporary. Because it's different.
Yeah.
And now I got to appeal not to 15 judges judging ballroom dance, but to millions of people in America that are watching for different reasons, and want to vote for the different reasons. And that's what I meant, is it was a competition, but it was also a campaign. And I realized, it's tough. That's a whole different thing. But I also built a new relationship with dance, and I realized that for me it was about connecting with people. It wasn't just about the vanity of the performance or the self-expression. It was really telling stories and connecting with people and creating a feeling in other people. And I realized dance was just a vehicle for me to do that. Besides that, I always gravitated to service.
Even your teammates, you're such a good teammate, because every partner you've ever had, way after you've maintained a relationship with, everybody loves you, everybody talks about what a great teammate you are. We've balled together a lot, and so it comes. I have a theory that I think Val will agree with, that the way you ball is the way you do life. And so this guy in the court, there's no stone unturned. There's not one sweat that's not sweat. I don't know if that's an expression, but And he's such a great teammate, whatever it requires. If he's got to put up shots, got to play defense, he won't even care about scoring. He'll lock up the most difficult offensive player.
Yeah.
And all of that translated in dance. You're a great teammate. You have lots of passion.
That's my biggest accomplishment. You know, that's what I really, you know, that's what gives me chills. That's what really makes me emotional is being a great brother, a great teammate, a great friend, really teammate. Right. For me, that's huge because that's what it's about, you know. And so anyway, I always gravitate to service and for me, Dancing with the Stars and the exposure and the challenges that brought also gave me an opportunity to now use my voice and have some influence on people. And I couldn't believe that, you know, people come up and say, man, you're so inspiring.
Yeah, people look up to you, man. You're an icon.
What?
Yeah, man.
I'm even doing this interview and I'm like, why? You know, because I don't see myself as that. I see myself as just somebody that has good intentions and is willing to put in the work behind those intentions.
Well, look, if you look at the facts, if we looked at the resume, Russian immigrant, right, comes here with nothing, no money, no success, no connections, no nothing, becomes a champion, goes to Hollywood, has success in Hollywood. If you think this, wrote a book correctly, because this story should be told, right, and then took things that you did hip hop, you did other things, you did so much in your life. And so to someone that's sitting there at home that's doubting themselves or that's thinking I can't really do anything, it is an inspirational story. Like it isn't, I mean, we're cut from the same cloth in the way of, I think we both get really fulfilled in it, helping people move forward, right? So everyone knows I've got this big personal development background, and once I was asked to speak at a Tony Robbins conference in front of like, I think 14,000 people, and I got on stage and I was like, I wasn't even nervous because I'm like, it's not about me, it's just, I'm gonna get asked questions and I'm gonna share my story. But in my mind, I didn't see myself as that person that talks in front of 14,000 people. And I get up there and I share the story, and like I'm done. It was like 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm kind of done. And, you know, and there's like a line of like 70 people wanting to ask me questions, and they say, like, "Why do you want to talk to me? Like, who am I? Do you have anything? Like, what can I offer you?" But it's kind of why I love real estate. Like the real estate piece itself, which I think for you is a dance piece. Like I'm not the guy that walks into a house and is like, oh my God, look at this architecture. Like I'm not the realtor. As a matter of fact, I think I consider myself more an entrepreneur than a broker, but it's the vehicle for me. I get to help my team grow. I get to help, you know, last year we did 800 transactions. I think we touched maybe 2,000 people all together. And we got to, you know, leave an imprint on these people, whether they're making money or buying their first home or selling a property. Like we get to help people to the next step of their life. And that means a lot to me. And so the same approach you take to excellence in your career, we do, because people are counting on us. You know, people are counting on us. It's an important thing we do, you know, like.
Yeah, and so that, you know, one of the things why I build that type of relationship with my partners is because, I mean, I say it right away, like you have my undivided attention and undivided commitment to you solely for the next 3 months. And let's do with that what we can. And if you could match that passion, then we'll be good. And most of the time, people don't really hear that. And when they do reciprocate that passion. Because if someone else is this passionate about you, how could you not be? About yourself. You know?
And think about what Val was doing. So Val was dancing with celebrities, professional athletes, other celebrities, A-listers, whatever. And these are people that are probably really confident, really successful, but now they're like ballroom dancing. It's uncomfortable, it's weird, and they're learning it for the first time. And someone that's so successful for summer has to go in front of millions of people and do something they're not necessarily comfortable with. And Val had the responsibility of making sure they don't look like a jerk in front of the world, right? It's a big responsibility.
That's terrifying, you know. It's pretty thrilling. And so I love that part. I love also, like I said, this new platform gives me an opportunity to mentor youth, and again, I feel really lucky where I came and so where I'm at, and feel like a blessing isn't realized until it's passed forward, and so I'm just trying to also pass it forward.
Amazing. Well, so look, championship caliber young dancer, celebrity, Dancing with the Stars, beautiful success. And now let's talk about, I don't want to say the ugly side, it's the wrong way to put it, but the real side of things. So, you know, on the front end, you know, so we do a lot on social media. You know, when I bump into you, oh, you're doing so great. You have this perfect work-life balance. You travel, but they don't see that I spend 6 hours. Like everybody's on the beach and I'm working for 6 hours in the room. Like nobody sees that side of it, right? Nobody sees the the pressure, the anxiety, the stress, the constant desire to do better than yesterday, and this like overachieving blessing / curse.
Yeah.
So I guess my question to you, and I think you'd serve the audience really, is how do you manage all that? Is it meditation? Is it like what do you do to find peace, to stay sane? If I mess up, man, and I fall on my face, no one really sees it. If you mess up and you fall on your face, it's in the tabloids, it's on social media, you have paparazzi coming at you. Like there's so much pressure for you all the time. How do you stay sane? What are your tactics?
I mean, I try to again, it's all these cliches. I really try to stay present, you know, and so if I make a mistake, or again, and I apply it with my routines and my partners, you know, they get so stressed out. You know, if you make a mistake, just keep it moving.
Right.
Just keep it moving. You know, you have to have really short-term memory.
Right.
You want to learn from your mistakes, obviously, but you don't want to dwell too much on it because now they're growing with you and they're moving with you. And so, as far as you know, the public part. Again, you'll alienate some, you'll attract others, and you know there's 7.3 billion people in this world. You know, so I'll build the relationships I need to.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I meditate. I started meditating. That helps me stay present. And I don't know what tools. Like, don't, you know, like I said, I believe like how you do anything is how you'll do everything.
It is.
I play ball. I do other things. I try to.
Well, you eat real healthy, right? You stay fit.
I try to. Listen, I don't do anything right. I try my best to do things right. That's it. I try to. You know, and that's all I can do. And you know, without getting super down on things, but you know, I've had a close friend pass away recently.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
And that was a huge, really also a mental shift for me because I realized like that's the only thing that's really guaranteed for everybody. So while I'm here,
perspective's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because we're always trying to achieve things, and all of a sudden something like that happens. You're like, oh shit! Like, what am I doing to enjoy the moment every day? Like every day's a blank page, you know?
Right,
like,
and it's not just enjoying the moment. It's just being in the moment and pursuing the things that you want, saying the things that you want, approaching that person that you were afraid to approach, right? That 5, 4, 3, 2, go.
Yeah, that's right. You know what, man? I just came back from a Muay Thai retreat. I'm completely obsessed right now with learning how to be a fighter. Like, not just hitting pads, which I've been doing for years, but like I actually want to learn how to be a fighter. My coach chewed me out the other day because I'm still not that great at defense. But it was cool. I was talking to one of the fighters there, and she just came back from a week-long silent meditation retreat, and I was like, oh my God, how do you do that? And she goes, what you learn to do there is to just be. And like, think about how difficult that is, to just not think, not do anything, to just be in a moment, to just be. Like, it sounds easy, but it's actually really difficult to just be, you know? Like,
it's very tough, man, but it's important. And the other thing is I'm learning to connect with myself. You know, I think that's a key ingredient in success and being great to the world. Because if you don't connect with yourself, you don't know what you know. If you don't love yourself, that's kind of the broader thing. Then you don't have the capacity to love others. And
for sure.
When you're not hard on yourself, but when you don't like yourself, most likely you will take that resentment and project that on others. I found that self-work and motivate, and like what you said, you know, how excited you are about Muay Thai and this and constantly improving yourself, that reflects in how you are with others, and you are always open, always positive, always positive, but you're there to you're not there to put people, you know, take people down with your energy. You're always lifting people around you up, and that's because you're constantly working on lifting yourself up.
That's right. Donna says, you always stay true to yourself. I agree, man. We've known each other a long time. You're one of the most authentic, real dudes I know, and that's not easy. When you're in Cali and you're in Hollywood, it's not that easy to maintain.
No, and sometimes, like I said, that was the challenge. Is that I probably should have been a little less authentic to myself.
Nah, I don't buy it. And I don't think your fans do either.
But that wouldn't serve me, right?
That's
that
right.
wouldn't serve me.
Temporary. It's temporary, sir.
Exactly.
Not long term.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would have maybe more, but I would feel it would have less value.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. That's another tip I'm on right now. Is not having a lot of things, but having valuable things.
Yeah, that's right.
In terms of entrepreneurship with success and money and all that stuff, I've never chased money.
Right.
I'm always chasing value in myself, right? Because if I am valuable, I will be compensated.
That's right.
That's the only way I got this job that changed my life, right? I was a skilled dancer, the best in the world, and this project was looking for the best in the world, and I was recruited. Amazing. Right? And my financial situation literally overnight completely changed.
Yeah.
I had to learn about taxes. That's a different
entrepreneurial curse. April comes. I made so much money. It's time for taxes. You get to be like, oh shit, where's all the money?
Right.
What happened
all
to
of
it?
a sudden, you care about the sidewalks and the bars. Right. But yeah, I think if you are self-improving, self-connecting, and building value, you will most likely accomplish not just compensation for that value, but also self-fulfillment and a better standard of living, mentally, spiritually, physically. That's it. It's mind, body, soul, really. It's like I don't eat healthy because it tastes good. I try to, again, I don't do it. I try to do it as best as I can, because I feel better, because my life becomes better.
There's purpose.
There's
intention.
purpose. There's purpose and intention. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think competitive dance, the reason why I'm where I'm at, it could have been that, it could have been something else, but I was blessed to have that type of, through the influence, I had that type of focus and that purpose. I had a purpose for why I said no to certain vices when I was young, while my friends didn't. Not because I was better than them, or I was, I had better willpower. No, it's because I had purpose that facilitated all those other things. The willpower to say no, the willpower to get up and go when I didn't want to, the willpower to lose, be devastated, and then have that as the driving force to become 100 times better.
Yeah, man. And you brought all your people up. You brought all your homies, all your friends with you, your family. Like, you take care of everybody. It's cool, man. Anything you want to shout out? Do you have a book, an app, or whatever? And it's gonna go to about 100,000 people when we circulate it via email. And you want to share with folks?
Well, I would like to share that dancing is really good for you and really good for your mental health. And you don't have to be a competitive dancer. You don't have to try to be a world champion. It's a great therapy. It's a great, physical, mental, and our dance studio is called Dance With Me. Dance studios, we specialize in that, creating a product that is attainable for everyone and is life-changing, truly. So, like I said, it's dance as the world knows it, as a way to perform is one thing, but to me, we've kind of reinvented dance to be a place of therapy and self-growth and self-reassurance, and also a little community. So if you're looking for a community and a way to kind of reset and recharge, go dancing.
Dance with me. Last night we went to a Greek place. It's called Ilios here, and it's so much fun. You dance. They give you plates to break. It's just dancing, especially if you are feeling anxiety, pressure, stress. First thing you want to do is get in your body and just go dance, have a good time. That alleviates some of that.
Yeah, it's
stress.
Nice to also tune out.
Yeah.
Out of this thing that we're all on.
Yeah.
And tune into human touch, right? The community. I think that's also really important, because at the end of the day, this has been around for 40 years, 30 years, whatever, and it's not going anywhere. But for thousands of years, we've been creatures of connection.
That's right.
And physical connection.
I was just gonna say, so what do you say? Dance with me in the metaverse someday?
Yeah, listen, yes. But till that moment, I don't know if it'll be as effective, because we at the end of the day, it's about touch, feel, inspire, communicate, connect, and like I said, I'm lucky that my job allows me to do that all the time.
Amazing. Oh my God. So we've talked about so much: mindset, Zen, championship, technique. We talked about all these different things. Any final tips, man, for people watching? Anything you want to share, say?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing I'm gonna say that they can't, you know, you haven't already heard. I'm just gonna say that, like I said, the more you take care of yourself, the more you'll be able to take care of the people in the world around you. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it's true, man. And I want to share a quick story. So I use this always as a great example of what could be. So there's a gentleman by the name of Roger Bannister. You guys can Google him if you don't know who that is. Roger Bannister was the first person to run a 4-minute mile. He did it in, I think, 1952. And at that time, once upon a time, the earth was considered to be flat. It was a fact. Once upon a time, it was considered fact that a human being could not run a 4-minute mile. Your bones would physically break. That was factual thought at the time. And so Roger Bannister wasn't a professional athlete. He wasn't a track runner. He was a doctor who was into fitness, and he did it. He ran a 4-minute mile, and they asked him, like, how did you do it? And his answer was, I just saw it, right? Which reflects belief system. What's really cool about this story is what was never done before. Once it became possible, the next year, about 12 or 13 people did it. The following year, over 50 people did it. And today, to make the high school football team, you got to run a 4-minute mile. So, Val, I think in a lot of ways, for your community, for your family, for your fans, I think you're a Roger Bannister. I think you're an example of what's possible to some. And the fact that you constantly fuel that with your authenticity, I think is real dope. So, thank you very much for joining us today. This was awesome.
Curiosity, that's the other thing also. You know, he was passionate and he was curious.
That's right.
And those two things added up for him going after something that no one has ever done before.
There you go.
That's really another element that I had. I was just also curious and driven to see those things through.
Amazing.
But
Guys, dance with me. Val the Champion, dance with me. Check it out. Follow him. Where do people follow you? They want to follow you or DM you or...
I'm on a social media detox right now.
Oh, there you go.
You could follow me.
Email me. I'll put you in touch.
There you go.
Take care, everybody. See you, Val. Thanks, man.